So, you're here to join the tales. You think you've heard every Batman story known to mankind. You think that you really understand the Dark Knight. Well, I'm here to share a tale that I have told years ago on an old series called Nerdtaku, and I'm revisiting it and revitalizing it for a brand new year, for a brand new reason, since I never gave this movie a proper review. So, you thought you heard every story of the Dark Knight Detective? Well, I'm happy to tell you that there's one story you might not have heard, one that rises above the rest. The story of the Batman Ninja. Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lady Universe and White Nerdy. Back in 2018, a movie that had reached basically critically acclaim and saying that it's like one of the best movies that have ever been put to screen and one of the best Batman adaptations ever put to screen. Batman Ninja. I reviewed this back in, I believe, 2020 during Christmas, which was a weird time to review something like this, or back in 2020 just in general. And this still is one of the most weirdest adaptations of Batman ever put to screen. Because there's an idea that they could have done for the Dark Knight Detective that they just dropped the ball with. What idea is that? We'll get back to it later. But this was supposed to be a masterful achievement since this was based on a manga series by Kazuki Nakashima. And, well, there is a Batman manga out there. It's called Bat Manga, which also is very critically acclaimed. The movie was handled by, yes, Warner Brothers in DC, but with directing rights going to. Oh god, I'm gonna butcher this name. Junpei Mizutaki. And Mizutaki had a good idea, good intentions, but this movie is poor execution of an idea that could have worked. And I'll get back to why in just a bit. So anyways, let's check out Batman Ninja and see if my opinions haven't changed in 5 years. Spoiler, my opinion hasn't changed in 5 years, but let's go back and revisit Batman Ninja. Our movie throws us in 18th century Japan, with Batman and his team suddenly realizing that, yes, unfortunately, they have been thrown back in time with no rhyme or reason. After a fight with Gorilla Grodd, Batman suddenly realized that, yes, he had to stop the Gorilla Grodd, but unfortunately, both for him and Catwoman, they failed in doing so. Then to the Dark Knight back in time, and suddenly he's in 18th century Japan, and thus he had to figure out how to live in these times and also how to get back to where he belongs. As our Dark Knight detective is left back in time, with no rhyme or reason, but he knows that he had to stop Gorilla Grodd and bring him back, same with the rest of the Arkham Asylum inmates. And even Batman magically finds a Bat Clan ninja. Yes, seriously, he ends up finding a Bat Clan of ninjas. As the Bat Ninja Clan tells Batman about a brave warrior who was dressed as a bat, who took down an evil warlord and brought his people to justice in feudal Japan. As the Bat Ninjas believe that Batman is this brave warrior reincarnated or sent back to the past, as they believe that he is the true magical warrior that will lead them to their freedom. I honestly love this idea, and I honestly love this concept, because when you stop and think about it, yeah, this was an idea that could have worked if it was an Elseworld story, like Batman Gotham by Gaslight or Superman Red Sun. This was an idea that could have worked as an Elseworld story. Picture this: a young Bruce Wayne grows up with a great and powerful samurai warrior, and he, was raised in the ways of a samurai. But then, when his father loses the match to this other samurai who also killed his wife out of revenge because he was in love with her too, then Batman, or young Bruce Wayne, had to grow up with his house servant Alfred and learn the ways of not the samurai, but the ninja, in order to take down criminals that once took the life of his parents. And once he found the criminal, he struck him down, but he suddenly realized that he's not the only one. as he just was a henchman that worked for another warlord, and Batman had to take down warlord after warlord to figure out who exactly was the one that hired his parent to be killed. That was an idea for Batman Ninja that could have worked, but instead they do something a little different. You know how Batman has a lot of different alternate versions of himself that sometimes works and others don't? Like sometimes, like he's the world's greatest detective, and that he's like the world's greatest crime fighter. Do you know what this concept idea is? This is Batman becoming so reliant on technology that he forgets. Hear me out. This is Batman, who is so reliant on the technology that he forgot his roots. I'll say that one more time. This is Batman, who suddenly is more obsessed with technology and using his technology instead of his brilliant mind that he thus possesses because they wanted him to go back to his roots.
Got to be kidding. No one is stupid enough to believe that.
Yes, seriously, I don't know who's supposed to believe this, but yep, Batman goes back to his roots of being a ninja, something that he's long forgotten. And sure, Batman tries to remember his roots, but he ends up failing, so much so that his other Bat family members, like Red Robin, Nightwing, and Robin, put him to shame. As Batman comes to terms that yes, he forgot who he was. He relied on technology so much he forgot his roots. So it was time to go back and time to reinvent the Batman.
This one's gonna fly! I can feel it.
But before he does that, Batman has to bitch, whine, and moan some more about, oh, I lost my technology and I have to be a ninja again. Wah! And after Batman finally reinvents himself, it's finally time to go after the people that he needs to. Finally time to go back after the Arkham inmate, take them down one for all, and take them back to his normal time. But not without the strangest moment that ends up happening in this entire anime. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you this.
Alright guys, power it up! Activating Megazord battle mode!
Wind, forest, fire, mountain, transformation! Two can play at this game. Judoku plant poison castle,
Yes, that just happened. The bad guys have Megazords. Oh, but wait. It gets even dumber than that.
Behold, the mighty Bat God before us. Assist!
So, for those of you that missed, we've had Bat turning into a giant Batman. The supervillains had a Megazord and a mech, and which they combined it into a super mech. And what's gonna go down now is a basically kind of like Super Sentai or Ultraman battle between the two of them. That's why I used the confusing clip of Peter Capaldi inside of a Dalek. Because that was just equally as confusing as everything that we just saw. And thank God this is almost over because I don't know how much more I can take of this. Okay. Calm down. Batman Ninja is almost done and over with. And then we can really rant on this piece of shit. It should have been an Elseworld story, like I said earlier, because my idea would have worked, but calm down. Okay. Almost done and over with. Let's finish this bitch. So now it's time for the final showdown. Batman versus the Joker in one epic sword fight that will go down and live down throughout the ages. As Batman finishes off the Joker with like a Naruto technique. No, seriously, that's basically what he uses as like a Naruto technique to defeat the Joker. And after he beats him, Batman drops the Joker, only to save him because you know the rule, Batman does not kill, he would never kill the Joker. And so our movie ends with our hero returning back home to go back and treat the villain to justice, and the hero to go back home. And then this happens.
What the fuck is happening here?
And that was Batman Ninja. What the fuck? I mean, it's an execution idea that could have worked. Like I said earlier, if this was an Elseworld story, if this revolved around Bruce Wayne as a young child, basically in feudal Japan, kind of like what they're doing with the Batman Aztec movie, which is basically an Elseworld movie, that would work. That would have worked beautifully. You could have made it. Oh, let me grab it here. You could have made it like Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. A little bit like that. But no, you decided to give us this. The voice cast is... especially Roger Craig Smith, who was a great Batman, kind of felt more like he was a whining man-child that he couldn't play with his toys. And of course, Terrence Strong is always a gift too, such as Fred Tactical and Grey Griffin. But it really feels like they underutilized every single person that they had in this movie, and especially Red Hood. An awesome character that they turned into. Well, granted, I don't know what they turned him into, but the animation was ugly, the voice cast was really mishandled, and the story that could have been good wasn't. It turned out a lot worse than I imagined. This is a downright disgrace to the Batman franchise, as this is one of my favorite all-time superheroes who got the shit treatment, almost a transplant, the shit treatment. Now here's the thing. When I went into this wanting to love this movie, I thought that the premise of this would have been great. And then when I saw it, it did not meet my expectations. It really drained me out of every expectation that I had for this movie. That is why my Funko Pop rating of Batman Ninja is going to be a Dracula, because this movie just outright drained me with all the crappiness I had to sit through. It could have been good. It could have been a great movie. But instead, I just feel so drained out of it right now. So my Funko Pop rating of Batman Ninja is a Dracula. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I upload, and let me know what you thought about Batman Ninja in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with my opinion? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, in the comments, I will pin my Nerdtaku review of it down in the comments below. Be forewarned, it's cringeworthy. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I believe you Tablet Nerdy keep on. And strangely enough, this is the second time I reviewed something that had used a horror Funko Pop. It's kind of weird that. It's kind of weird that. What the. What the frick? Soon I'll be able to take over this channel and take over this feeble mind, as he is one tough son of a bitch to get rid of. But soon, very soon, he has one more review to go. And then it's my time to play with my ghouls and goblins to enjoy a brand new Lazy Wing season. He just has but one more review to go, and then whether he likes it or not, I fully take over him. Never mind. So thank you guys so much for watching on my universe. How about Nerdy keep on? And until next time, as always, take care. And speaking of next time, how about we talk about some better Batman stories? And revisit a Nerdtaku episode that I pretty much liked, but would like to go back into it and explain more about. Till next time.